Welcome back to our R learning session. Today, I'll be going through some basic functions in R. Let's start by clearing the memory of the computer. How do you do that? We can do that by using remove function. Here we go. Rm list equal to ls. Once we run this, it's going to clear all the objects in the memory. Now, we need to import some data into our memory. How we can do that? Let me show you. We need to first invoke read function, and it's a CSV file. It's a CSV file, and for that I will be calling a file name called tb country CSV, and false. Let's run this and see what we get. We see that it has imported a file name with the two columns v1 and v2. Does that make sense? Let's check what the file says here. Let's open the file and see what's inside it. It's not clear what's inside it. But anyways, we see that this file has many data points, around 5,000 rows, and each row has a 10 variables in it. There are v1 through v5, v10 exactly. There are v10 variables in it, or more than that, 47 variables. Each data point has 47 variables in it. It's a big file. What happened here is that if you look at the column 1, it doesn't actually look like a data point. It looks like a column name. It happened because we put header as false. Let's do it again by changing this to true and see what we get. And I will comment it out. I'll comment this out so that it won't run next time. Code, how do we comment here? Comment, Control Shift G. This has been commented. Let's change this to true and run this again. Now we have a data. Now it has read a file. So next step is to actually save this in a object. Let's name this as a sample CSV. and run this again. Let's see what's inside this file. We see that in this object we have, which has been imported into our memory, we have all the data points and a column name for each of the data points, variables inside the data point. In each data point is each line, and for each line we have many variables in it, and each variable has a column name associated with that. That was not the case when we said header was false. Moving on, let's try to play with some other kind of files which are not CSV. Let's play with new file called and use a new command called read table, and this command is used to read a file which are non-CSV. And let me type the file name here. Let's see, CSV, but this is not a file, CSV file. This has to be something like a txt file. And the separator in this file is a tab /t. Header, let's do false and see what we get. Sample tsv, and let's name this file as sample tsv in a memory with headerless. Let's do headerless for this one. Let's run this again. Let's look at the file here, and we see that this file has been imported, which is a tab separated file, and this has been imported in the memory. As we have seen earlier, the first data point is column name, which is not the case. We have to fix this by commenting this out, and let's copy this and set this as true. Let's run this again. This time it's going to be header, not headerless. Pardon me. Let's run this again. Can we guess what we will see now? Let me show you. We see a file that has column name and data points which are appropriately formatted. Earlier we didn't have any column name. Now we have column name because we set header as true. Separator can be many separator. We have to specify what separator do we have. We can use the same command using comma if we have a comma separated value. It's a multi-purpose command. This one is just we read a comma separated values, but this is a multi-purpose command which you can use read many kinds of files. Let me quickly summarize what we discussed today. We talked about using remove rm function to clear our memory. We talked about read CSV, which reads the CSV file. It is a special purpose command that just to read a CSV file. And read table, which is a multi-purpose command that can read any type of file provided that we specified a separator. And we also talked about setting header is true or false. Thank you so much. I will see you in our next learning session.